welcome to Mage the Ascension, the Victorian Age. This is the interlude before Book 3. I'm your storyteller, Kelly. I use he and him. And folks, I'm really excited because Book 3 is one of my favorite things that I've planned for this. I've got 5 books planned so far, assuming that like you keep renewing your subscriptions. This one is totally ripping off Agatha Christie, and I love it. I love it so much. But you know what else I love? I love our intrepid cast members. Let's say hello to them right now, starting with Robin.
I was just getting in the chat to type like, because I was like, oh, I have time. I can look at Tegan's sheet because random is whichever is technocrat.
I just wanted to make you squirm.
Willpower.
Go.
I know. I have 1 willpower, so I would love to take the willpower that random.
So willpower will reset between seasons. So you'll be back up.
Not for 0 sum, but
for 0 sum,
random
absolutely.
Specified for 0 sum.
Yeah,
so that's why.
And Nolan doesn't need willpower. He has it at home. He can make it.
That's fair.
Okay. All right,
yes,
okay, you're up.
He can make his own.
Yeah, I'm going. This is what you get for making me flustered. Hello everyone. I'm Robin. I use she, her pronouns. I'm second gen gamer in the chat, and not tonight, but usually you can see me as Darcie Harkness, our member of the Verbena, with her lovely one-eyed cat familiar Bran.
It's true. Right next to you in chibi avatar form is Jen.
Me. I'm here. I just have. Oh, and the dog upstairs decided to go nuts.
The dog upstairs here too.
Ah, yay. Yeah. I'm Jen. I use she, her pronouns, and usually I play Josephine. Our I was just blanked totally on what she is. Our medic, Benny Tharsis. Yeah, I'm in chibi form today because I have to keep my foot elevated, and it makes for weird camera angles. And
she was too busy kicking ass, so she hurt her foot.
I'm too busy kicking ass. I'm fine, but it's better for me if I just spend a night with it up. So yeah.
Fantastic. Up above you, we've got Amy.
That's me. Hi. My pronouns are she, her, or they, them. And I play Chastity, Prudence, Goodwin, the Cult of Ecstasy / Celestial Chorus member.
Finally, and last but not first, it's Christine. You're almost always first. Come on. You can give it away this once.
All right.
You're magnanimous.
Normally you do the last but not least line, and that kind of feels a little shitty on top of it. So thanks.
with the handsomest new office decor in the Dorktales team, it's
finally
Christine.
Back and alive too.
Oh, that's true. Welcome back. Oh my God, yeah, you've been dead.
Woo, I'm back
Welcome
on camera. Hello, I'm Christine. I use she, her pronouns, and normally I am playing Dr. Evelyn Taylor here, our Etherite. Just trying to think of the right word, but yes, I just finished today clipping up my green screen differently because I now have a curtain rod and little rings that sit on it with little clips, so I can go and it can be away or it can be on.
It can be off, it can be on. It's great, much better than pinning it.
So I put a video on Discord even. I was like, haha, look at this.
So tonight we're going to be talking about the game. We're going to be answering any questions. We're going to be setting up for book 3 and talking about kind of the future of the Chronicle. Before we do, I do have a couple things that I want to tell you that are really cool. And the first one, of course, is a big thank you to our sponsor, Bookworm Games. I have some really cool stuff. Don't skip through this. So you all know the Bookworm Games has tons of types of dice. It's like dozens and dozens and dozens, right? They've got all sorts. They've got liquid core, they've got wood, they've got metal, they've got gemstones that are inspired by the world of darkness. They've got so much, you know. They're working on gaming tables. They're working on getting more familiars out. And I did deliver, Raven with Baubles, if you're watching, I did deliver the presents that you provided to Millie, Jen, and I haven't seen Cal yet, but I'm seeing him on Monday. So he's getting his, and Millie loved the frog you got her. So, and Amy has hers, and Robin, I'm mailing yours off on Monday. Stop. But they're a fantastic group. They are absolutely wonderful, and they're huge World of Darkness fans. So I strongly suggest, even if you're not in the mood for most of their dice, a lot of it's like D&D, like D20 sets. If you're just a World of Darkness gamer, go check out their Gemstone D10 sets right now, because they are some of the prettiest goddamn dice on the internet, and they roll real well. I gotta say, the mage ones have been very successful for me, and unfortunately very successful for Christine during last episode.
Mine were my bloodstone dice, I think, need time to warm up to me. They were middling. They were okay. Nothing super bad, but nothing super great. So my dice are warming up to me.
That's because you're still warming up to the character. She is not fully mature.
It's true.
Even though she's fully mature.
She's pretty mature.
Thank you to Bookworm Games. Go to their website and use code DorkTales to save 15% now. Not just 10, that's 10 and another 5 on top of it. You also get free shipping if your order is 100 Canadian or more. And the reason that I asked you to be patient is I had a great meeting with Bookworm Games this week, and Bookworm Games does not just do all that stuff. They are getting into the publishing world and are starting to do their own print run adventures. They have their own really interesting, actually, really interesting like homebrew, like fantasy world for like Dungeons and Dragons or like just fantasy derived settings. And the reason that this matters to me is I have been hired to help them write a portion of it. So I am going to be writing for Bookworm Games. They are putting out a module book that is particularly concerned with piracy in their fantasy world. And I got to tell you, I was so relieved sitting at this meeting and talking with Michael and finding out that their world is not only interesting, but it actually gives me a bunch of ideas. It's always a worry when you're working on someone else's project and you go sit down and you're like, this is the dumbest shit. No, this is actually really good. Tons of great ideas going into it. A lot of great writers that are from things that if you like Mage, you might have liked some of their writing before, is all I can say. And I'm really excited. I'm writing 3 modules for them, as well as coming up with some new lineages and subclasses. I have one that I can spoil, a paladin order called the Oath of the Dying Light, that is going to be coming out, and it's going to be real good. I'm very excited. So, this is not directly related to Dork Tales, but if you like what I do when I write, definitely check it out when it comes. And it's going to be fantastic because if you buy more copies, then I get more money. So that's always helpful for me, and it's going to be rad. I'm really excited. And I will keep you all with some updates as much as I can give you. Other things that I can tell you are that this week we launched the first episode of our Transylvania Chronicles game. So if you like the World of Darkness and want to go back to 1198, go to YouTube right now. It's up. I was literally up until 4 a.m. editing it and 5 a.m. uploading it because I had to get the opening credits right. And then I still had a typo, which will be fixed as of next episode. Because I mispluralized something because it was 4 a.m. It is fantastic. I spent a lot of time just making sure it's as good as possible for the YouTube crowd, so please go give it a like. I would really appreciate it. And tune in. It's a really good game, even if you don't like Vampire or no Vampire. I was incredibly impressed because I bring my A game as much as I can to these things, and the cast was like, I felt like I was going round for round with like Apollo Creed in like the quality level. Like I left that game not sure if I did a better job or they did a better job, and it was real cool. Like I was like, damn, this cast got hands.
Everyone was amazing in that game.
It was fantastic. So
it was a great game. Please
it's going to be a great game, and it's weekly,
awesome.
which scares the crap out of me because White Wolf modules definitely need quality of life improvements. So, yeah, that's my initial stuff. Besides that, if you haven't heard, Strixhaven is coming back soon on Patreon. Destroyer of Worlds has dropped. Episode 2 is dropping on the 1st, so you definitely want to stay on the Patreon. If you like Alien, there are going to be some mix-ups with that coming in episode 4 that I think you're really going to like. And then when Strixhaven ends, our good friend and vampire Cal is going to start running Descent into Avernus. Or Avernus if you're nasty. And it's going to be a heavy metal epic. And the cast is forming, and it is looking tight. Like, I got all the people that I wasn't expecting to say yes. Which seems to be a problem that I have a lot, which I love. So, besides that, that's what I got to talk about at this point. Let's jump into talking about mage stuff. So, mages, how you been? besides broken and sick?
Missing Mage.
Mostly that.
Missing Mage, yeah.
Well, Mage is coming back. It's going to be fantastic. I got to ask real quick though. You guys are you guys are all Rattray 4. Who wants a Seeking next? Who should I start prepping on? Because I'm basically going to limit it to you can get one Seeking a book, max. I think I'd prefer one every 2, but max of 1.
Well,
Or
my
minimum of-
avatar is only 4, so
That doesn't
I
matter.
think I'm done. Does it not for doing?
No.
it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Nope.
What am
So
I thinking about that?
I was
Will-
gonna say I couldn't get my avatar's only 3, so I wouldn't have gotten Rattray 3 then
Mhm.
or 4.
Yeah.
if that
Yeah,
was
they're
the
not
case.
linked.
So the
didn't
3
think
things that
they
are linked,
were.
Amy, willpower is the bottom
Yeah.
pyramid. So you have to have
Yeah.
willpower 5 to have Rattray 5. And you have to have, so it's sphere, Rattray, willpower.
Huh. Okay. Apparently, I've been slightly incorrect about this since I started playing Mage.
No,
You
Avatar
didn't
is
have
the
this high though, so
Avatar is as a trait confuses a lot of people. So that's totally fine. Avatar is the strength of your avatar. It's how much your avatar can interfere with your daily life, as well as how powerful it is as
and how much
being.
quintessence you can hold, of
Yes.
course.
Does it have anything to do with
Well-
when you're building your Rattray dots at character creation? Is that what I'm mixing up?
No.
Nope.
Like the mag? No. Okay. I'm just off in my own little world, making up my own rules. Cool. Good to know.
That's fine. That's fine. That's what we do. That's what we do here on Dork Tales.
So,
I had somebody comment
I-
on YouTube that like, you got this rule wrong by Raw, and I'm like, I cook my games. What are you talking about?
Crack knuckles. Rattray 5. Let's go for like, I don't know. I still haven't decided what I'm going to throw my next thing into.
Do you want to be put in line for a Seeking?
Eventually, but I don't have enough to buy one, I don't think.
Oh, that's fair. So does anybody have enough for
Yeah.
a Seeking?
I'm getting close, but not quite.
So why don't I go ahead? Let's talk about what's happening in the next couple of books. I want to give you guys kind of an outline of...
I have 4 XP. Darcie is a long way from
That's
the
not
Seeking,
true.
so
You
I've
have
been
6
buying-
XP because 2 XP were bought by the chat.
Right. You're right. I have 6 XP, but I've been buying a lot of abilities and attributes up and spheres. So I have no.
I definitely want to be in line. I just don't know if I'm currently saving for a Seeking
Mhm.
or if I'm going to spend the XP I have, because I have 18 right now.
Yeah, I've got 16 right now. I
So
assume
that's...
you guys 18 with what we just got bought.
Yeah.
So once you hit 24, you could do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, I'm gonna check my notebook real quick because I feel like I've had 4 for a while. So I'm just gonna
Yeah,
check
double check that you actually gave yourself XP. So as we're going to this, I want to give you the trajectory of what we're doing. So this season, what we're doing is we're leaving Paris, and you are traveling down to Cairo to connect. Basically, you're evading the technocracy. Oh, that's a nice notebook. So as
she
you
got it for a
are,
Christmas gift from
Final
me.
Sight just bought another XP. So as you're evading the technocracy, you are going to be traveling along a fictitious railroad that I've invented. And I know I'm going to get comments that are like, a railroad couldn't go through there. I'm not going to study every aspect of like old Persian, like sand dunes.
I already did that, and it's hard. We don't want to do
Mhm.
it.
Yeah. Do you know what
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest. Do you know what I actually did? I'm going to admit this. I used ChatGPT to draw me up a couple of routes, and then I did research on what ChatGPT said and fixed what it gave me. Right? Jen's nodding too. You could just shake your Josephine. ChatGPT is only good for helping people be creative outside of it, in my opinion. Like I don't think anybody should ever feel wrong about using ChatGPT or using like Bing Image Create to come up with ideas. I've been doing a lot of brainstorming using like image creation software recently, or AI image creation, that I plan to give to an artist as references and say, hey, like this, but you know, also here's some money.
So I have 10 XP actually. I checked my notes.
Oh, good.
So
that
that would
makes
be
a big
12.
difference.
Yep.
I checked
Yep, that
mine.
makes
I
a
have 3
huge difference.
experience because I bought time 4.
You bought time 4, which you will have had enough time to learn. So I want you to pick a route for that.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Freezing people in place is a great one. So is held hanging actions.
Yeah.
Also, nice hair,
I'm
Amy.
gonna have to think through that. Thank you. I did it yesterday. This is my for Extra Life weekend. I said that whoever donated the most over the weekend would get to pick my hair color, and my parents eventually were the ones who won. They just beat out my aunt and uncle, and then they messaged my cousin, whose son is at the BC Children's Hospital, and asked him what he wanted the colors to be. So the answer was pink, purple, blue, and green. So here we are.
And our stylist is really good. We have a stylist. It's almost like we're like famous, but it's just a stylist we all go to. They do a good job. So basically what is going to happen is you're going to hop on this railroad and you're going to Bombay to meet someone who can probably help you with this magic box. So the way that I have it slated, because we're going to need to get probably more art done sometime in the near future. And you're going to need to update your outfits, which I know you guys all love doing eventually, is the next 2 books are slated. So book 3 is The Empress Express. You go on a train. It's a wonderful time. Nothing bad happens. And it's just 10 episodes of us drinking tea.
Perfect.
I gotta say,
lovely.
I had a YouTube comment that said, I really liked book 2 and then it jumped the shark. Baby, you ain't seen the shark jump yet. It's gonna be like a 90s like Go-Gurt commercial. Yeah!
This is Mage.
Like this
Not even
book
gotten
3
started yet.
So book 1 is a game for people who like the Victorian era. Book 2 is a game for people who like feminist politics, and history about France. Book 3 is a game for people who love the World of Darkness. Book 4 is a game for people who love Mage. And book 5 is a game for people who, well, we're going to decide that. So book 4 is likely not going to take place on Earth. I think book 4 is where Josephine might go home.
No one can see how much I'm smiling right now, but I am.
She's smiling big.
Jen is a very smiley girl right now. She is very smiley.
And then book 5, I'm not sure. I have 2 locations in mind that we could do on book 5. We could do both. I could find a way to do it Indiana Jones style. But I either want to go to China or Japan. So I want to go to the East or I want to go to the West. Those are my two choices. Either you're going to fax a samurai, and have adventures in like Kyoto or Shanghai, or you're going to be in like the Utah territories, gunslinging and sleeping with cowboys.
I mean, not to like direct the plot or anything, because you'll figure out what's best for us, but it almost makes more sense to go to the West after leaving Earth. Right?
Yeah.
Like if we're on the Orient Express-ish, like, or whatever, but like towards the east, you'd think then we'd continue east and therefore do the eastern stuff. But
I mean, after you get back from Concordia.
yeah, no, but what I mean is it makes more sense to me to go straight into the eastern stuff and not do Concordia first, or do Concordia and then go to the
Maybe.
Wild West.
If I come
Right?
up with a really good idea, so right now it's mostly just that like I kind of want to see the doves in Shanghai.
Yeah.
Like going to like basically I'm advancing the plot in my head 20 years and doing the opening from Temple of Doom. Right? That's not what's going to happen, but I also kind of want to run a Mage 1920s game now. And this is my Tommy gun with a bunch of forces runes on it.
Oh my goodness gracious. I still want you to do the 90s Mage.
Yeah, 90s Mage will probably happen. I also want to run a Technocracy game when Jen's is done. Because okay, so in my Mage the Ascension Technocracy live action game, which everybody but Robin played in, and is actually Christine's first like real role-playing game, I'm going to consider. He played D&D, but it wasn't my games. I know. But it was where she met everybody. We had a character in it who was a direct ripoff of Raymond Reddington from The Blacklist. And then I read how The Blacklist ends. They finally ended it this year. And it's the dumbest ending I could imagine, which makes me want to bring the character back just to give the character a better ending. I'm going to. Do you guys want me to spoil the end of the Blacklist for you? Because I do it in my my podcast with Chris on the Patreon as well. So Raymond Reddington. Spoilers for the Blacklist. You stopped watching 4 seasons ago. So skip the next 2 minutes. I'm going to look at the clock. 2 minutes. Basically, they killed off Elizabeth Keene 2 seasons ago. She doesn't actually come back to life. She's been dead. Now, and Raymond, it becomes a show about Raymond and Dembe, which is okay. Dembe being the his African sidekick that he rescued from a slavery ring when he was a kid. And it becomes this cat and mouse game with him and old enemies and allies until he and Dembe become enemies. He ends up saving Dembe's life by giving him a bunch of his blood, and then goes into to blood loss shock, escaping, wanders into a cow field and gets gored to death by a bull.
What?
Yeah, you didn't see that one coming, did you? He dies. He doesn't even, like, well, basically what happens is he wanders into a field, confused and in shock. There's a bull there. The bull apparently goes, "Ruh, ruh, ruh," and starts moving toward the camera, and then Reznor, the blonde Captain America looking agent, shows up, and his body's all bent and broken on the ground, and that's the ending as the camera pans up.
That's terrible.
Wild.
That is the worst fucking ending I could ever imagine. So,
Yeah. Or not imagine. It's so bad I couldn't imagine it.
I don't know. That's what Wikipedia said. I can't watch it. I can't. It's they threw darts at possible endings and it landed in the trash on like a piece of bullshit. And they're like, "Oh, bull. That's a good idea." So I want to do this because I want to have him come back. He briefly guest starred in an episode of Hunter the Vigil. And by the way, if you're on Patreon right now, speaking of Hunter the Vigil, you can watch, I'm sorry that I keep pushing you to the Patreon, but you can watch the, before it goes live version of me rating all my NPCs from the games and all my PCs. And it includes, did ChatGPT write it? I think ChatGPT could have come up with something better than that. Bulls are so hot right now. So anyways, I want to run a technocracy game that's like espionage and you traveling around doing stuff. It's just really funny because
I would love to be in a fucking like espionage spy thriller technocracy
where you
game.
can like pull off your face.
Yeah. Fuck yes.
Right.
I want an exploding pen. I want to be Bond. Come on, let's go.
Yeah.
I'm very excited to see Argyle. And Robin, we're gonna go see Argyle when you fly in a few weeks. So it's gonna be good.
Which is such the most wild everything associated with it.
Yeah, Jen, give me the 30-second summary of why Argyle is wild.
Okay, so Argyle is this movie that's coming out, spy thriller. It's based on a book. That book was only just published in January. The movie rights were bought for the book before it was ever published. It's by a first-time author whose name is the same as the character in the book. So there's like probably some weird pen name stuff going on there for reasons. But the Taylor Swift community is convinced that Taylor Swift wrote it. And then other people are convinced that it's Ryan Reynolds or J.K. Rowling. So,
What?
fuckers.
Why can't it just be J.K. Simmons? Can we just replace J.K. Rowling with J.K. Simmons?
Sorry, what? This is bizarre.
wild.
People are like looking at the signature, which the Ellie Conway signature does look unnatural, but it was the third or the 300th book she had signed. So people are looking at that and trying to compare it to like Taylor Swift's writing, and it's insane.
But also the cat is actually based off Taylor Swift's cat.
Oh yes, that is true, and
that was confirmed by the
conspiracy.
director.
Yeah,
which is weird because I looked it up on Wikipedia after you said that. I'm like, well, what the? I didn't disbelieve you, but I was like, what?
Right?
Also,
it's like, what the fuck?
I want to quit seeing spoilers about Deadpool 3 because they're all over my timelines and they're just pictures from the set, and I'm like, I don't want to know this. I want to go into this movie. I don't want to be happy.
So I gotta admit,
and Ryan Reynolds asked people to been like, guys, stop, please.
Yeah.
it
Sorry.
really, really bugs me that they based the cat off of Taylor Swift's cat, because Scottish folds are a genetic aberration that they're in agony like half
they?
their life.
Oh,
Yeah,
that explains
have,
why
like,
they look sad.
Bad arthritis. They are not meant to be they are a bad breed. Like, they are adorable, lovely cats who have genetic issues.
Oh, that's too bad.
Like severe genetic issues
So
with
we were-
arthritis and stuff like that, and it's just stop reading them. It's not fair to the cat.
That's fair. Taylor Swift is in our lives too much. I was down in Kansas City, like we were down in Kansas City for Christmas with my family, and it was just Taylor Swift everywhere because she's dating Kelsey from the Chiefs. And it's just, it's so funny. All the dudes are so mad, right? They're so mad. They're so mad. They're like, oh, she's ruining it. I'm like, I don't know. It's fine.
Oh, it's funny. I was seeing a thing recently, a little TikTok video going like, hey, so as not a Taylor Swift fan and not really a football fan, I just don't care. But I happened to be watching the game over the weekend because relatives were, and I sat there and timed. She showed up on screen for about 42 seconds over the course of the whole game.
Well,
It's like people that get mad at us about our pronouns.
oh my God. I've gotten so many pronoun comments this week, guys. It's been great. It's pronouns. And I'm like, bruh, wait till you hear
And
that.
also,
Adjectives.
Aridian Wild is like, yeah, Swift has brought much money to the Chiefs. Yeah, I don't know why people are like, the Chiefs certainly aren't complaining.
Well, Robin, you remember
The
my
Chiefs
family was
certainly-
like thought it was really funny because of the Vegas betting odds.
Yeah, the lower, high, over, under, how many times?
And how many times they'd show her, and it was always over. And it was like, oh.
Wow. Kelly, I do like how you mentioned at the beginning of, or like before we started streaming, where you were like, one of the latest pronoun comments is on episode 1 of Breaking Tradition, and it's like, you're in for the gayest ride of your life, bro.
Like literally everybody was like, I have 4 femme presenting players in this game, and they were all like, you want to shack up and get a U-Haul at the beginning of that chronicle.
We're all like, let's play lesbians with each other.
Yeah,
Lesbians casting magic, getting nails done. Lesbians.
We had some very different types of lesbian. In that
Yeah,
game,
basically you had
too.
like
We
you
had
had
each of like the types.
you had the Avatar the Last Airbender nations of lesbianism there. Flannel. Pink. Man hating. Like oh, it's great. Magical nails.
So good.
Drinking out of a super soaker. Yeah, obviously. I have to curate the YouTube comments. So many of them are great, by the way. If you're watching it, leave a nice YouTube comment. I will respond to it eventually. Yeah. I got you for that at the Spider-Man experience in Kansas
Yeah,
City.
you did. Yeah, you did.
It was super good.
But yeah, you can't quite look at the texture. Look at that
It's so
Spidey
nice.
suit.
Oh, I forgot
so
we had
nice.
that seducing your wife comment. Well, I was trying to seduce my
right.
wife.
Yeah, that was about my character.
I know. So anyway, we're talking about Mage. So Mage the Ascension is a fantastic game. If you have any questions, comments about this campaign, Chronicle, I've run too much D&D. I'm sorry. I used to say Chronicle for D&D all the time, and now it's switched. But if you have any questions about that, basically, I want to check in on this. So that's kind of my outline for the next couple books. Yes, Robin.
Question, because of things that happened last game and the game before,
Yeah.
and I want to know for my costuming, how many episodes do you think Darcie's going to have the black eyes? Just curious.
How many episodes can you handle wearing the contacts?
The contacts are fine. I can wear it as long as you want. I just need to know for doing makeup. It's just different contacts.
Until you get on the train. How's that? So 2. Okay, so what I'm assuming is there's going to be an episode of you guys wrapping up things in Paris, taking a boat down, getting to Cairo. And then there's probably going to be an episode of you guys getting in trouble in Cairo. Because how are you not going to get in trouble with pyramids?
Mummies!
You gotta eat a mummy.
Nom nom. Are you my mummy?
And after we so pointedly avoid dealing with the mummies in London.
You're like, we have mummies at home.
Also, just the comment from Brando of Darcie. It's
Darth
Darcie.
Darcie.
We're in the Darksest
It's
timeline.
Darcy. Yeah, that's fair.
Darcie.
See, I was
Also-
laughing over the one immediately after that.
Oh!
Eating is this an lesbian? Oh god. Who wants romance, by the way? Is it time for Darcie to
Darcie
get
is
some?
so broken. Darcie's so broken, but
Okay.
she needs to have a good
So
romance.
I specifically, so this is like my list of book 3 events. These are NPCs. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've got 8 new NPCs showing up in this camp or in this book.
Nice.
of which 4 of them are romanceable. Technically all 8 are, but one of them's like an 80-year-old colonial man. I don't think that he's probably your type. And one of them is Judi Dench, so I don't think she's probably your type. Maybe. Helen Mirren, yes. Judi Dench, probably not.
Yeah, you're right.
Helen Mirren's still hot.
Judi Dench is very much like grandma.
Yeah, I don't know if I would sleep with Judi Dench. Helen Mirren, yeah, let's go.
Like current Judi Dench or like younger Judi?
I'm talking current on both, Amy.
Okay, good to know.
I would ruin that woman's hip.
You think
No,
that
Helen Mirren would put me in the ground.
Yeah, I was gonna
Helen Mirren would put me in the ground. Oh God. Oops, all mommies. You nailed it right there, Aridian. Oh, the hip replacement don't come cheap. She'd ruin my hop. I wouldn't be able to jump afterwards. I'd be an elephant. I still think that was great. I turn it on, then I jump over it. In unison the entire game, besides Amy, elephants can't jump. It was so good.
Clearly, I missed that entry.
You missed that day of school.
Animal encyclopedia.
It's called zoology, Amy, which you'd know if you attended zoology class.
No, I did not attend animal biology class.
All right. It was taught by
nothing but mammals.
I was gonna say it was taught by Maroon 5. Animals. Anyway, what else is going on? So yeah, so Darcie wants romance. So I'm assuming that y'all might want. Okay, so Chastity doesn't really want romance, right?
Chastity's kind of got romance happening already, sort of, and is
yeah. You got a couple of them on the fly, and it's weird.
And apparently a kid.
It's not yours. As far as she's concerned, well, I guess you kind of helped.
It's her kid. Yeah, and she's was kind of in a relationship of sorts with both parents involved.
Yeah.
As far as she's concerned, that's
your
her
polycule
kid.
got messy.
Oh yeah, real quick. Which is why she's not coping well.
I'm assuming that Amelia's probably staying in Paris or somewhere safe, because you don't want her on the train. Trust me. Although, if the kid, you could probably find a way to get her. If you make it to Concordia, you probably find a way to take her there. Yeah, that's probably safer. Let's see. So you've got that going on. Don't worry, that plot is not going to be forgotten. But I'm giving Chastity a mild break from trauma so that it'll hurt more later. That's how I do.
How thoughtful.
So Robin, you want Darcie to have some romance. Jen, how are you feeling?
It can ruin her at the end, but like I like a few.
All relationships end in tragedy. Come on.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't need like immediately goes on one date and then is trying to be sacrificed and impregnated by the devil.
No, you only have one father. I killed Amy with that.
Oh boy.
So, Jen or Christine, how are you feeling about that? Should I angle something for you?
So I have this kind of weird thought process with Josephine where I think that, and I think I mentioned this before book 2, because you were asking us about romance options then, and I feel like Josephine having a bit of a romance sort of with someone who is non-magical would be like interesting, right? And I'm not super into like having it now necessarily or whatever, but she's not a romance person, so it's like it's gonna not really be romance. It's gonna be interesting.
It'll be weird. Do you have a gender preference for that type of NPC?
I don't know.
Okay, so I'll just throw whatever against the wall that I can.
Yeah. Basically.
Yeah, that sounds good. And Christine,
Oh,
do you have?
sorry, I was going to finish a thought, which was that. No, I trailed off. But thinking of like if we're going to Concordia, having some sort of juxtaposition of like a mage trying to court her and her being like, no, would be really interesting too.
I was going to ask if you had like a childhood crush or something like that, or somebody like that.
Technically I have a rival.
Oh, that's fair. Did you have like a lesbian boarding school thing with her, or
No,
maybe?
I think my rival's male.
Oh, is your rival? Well, I have some ideas for that. I might just make him insufferable.
Yeah. My rivals never come up, so it can literally be whatever now, but I'm pretty sure I made the rival male at one point. It was like old hermetic school rivalry type thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was a Hufflepuff. She was a ballet dancer. Can I get any more obvious?
Yeah, exactly. But like I could see from the other side, like maybe it being a crush and Josephine being like just refusing or being oblivious at first, like in her younger days, and then it coming back up during the Concordia book and her being like, oh no.
Yeah, right.
No, thank you.
And then Evelyn, how do you feel? Do you think it's finally time to move on from James, or?
I was thinking that I wouldn't mind having some sort of flirtation, light romance type thing.
Do you have any preferences there? Do you want something? So I'm going to ask you 4 questions involving this. Seriousness, gender, awakened / magical or otherwise supernatural. And what's the last question for that? I guess I have 3 questions.
I think I would lean towards male. My thought is something a little lighter because she does have a lot of heavy with her actual marriage that she's run out on. So something kind of fun that could then be horribly wrecking later. But I think she wouldn't treat it too seriously, potentially, and be very slow to do much more beyond, like, having fun. So, yeah.
Okay, that sounds...
Technically married.
And do you want, like, a mundane, or do you want something with a little bit of magical emphasis? And magical emphasis, I'm not gonna narrow it down, but that could also include, like, I don't know, werewolves and vampires in there too.
I
like
don't
anything
mind
from
anyway. I think whatever I think works better, or whatever feels right in the moment. I don't think I have much preference. I think my only thought is that with it, I don't want it to end up being a thing where it gets turned into a man trying to control her, take her work, that sort of thing again, because if she's already got one of those, I don't want to break her down quite that hard yet.
Absolutely. Okay. Cool. I've got some ideas there. And I'm going to circle back because, Robin, I didn't ask you the follow-up questions. Did you have a gender preference?
I don't have a gender preference. I don't know if Darcie, like, I don't know. Darcie doesn't have a specific preference yet. I think she's always been kind of intrigued by women. I don't know if she fully what she feels like. So depending on the person, she might be open to female as well. But so I don't really have a specific gender preference in mind. It's going to be more on the character.
How serious do you want it to be?
I think mid serious, not like super serious, but also Darcie's not necessarily, she's not a girl that's very light. She kind of go things somewhat medium.
I know the answer already. You don't want mundane. You want something weird if it's available.
Yeah.
But
yes,
moreover than that, regardless of that, do you want, because I already know the answer from Christine. Christine would want something that's like mildly flirty or respectful for this character. It would be something that's like a little proper, maybe a little dirty, but like kind of proper. Moreover, above board.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, towards the vibe of Teddy, I think
Oh,
would
really?
work very well with Evelyn. Something to get her to not be too serious.
Yeah.
Because she is a very serious character, so something she can laugh and have fun with might be
James
good. Like
seemed
not
a lot more
necessarily like
serious.
super dirty right off the bat, because that's just like not really socially acceptable in public.
Fair. So, and
But-
then for Robin, I was kind of figuring that something that would be an antagonistic relationship, like
Yeah.
a flirt to fuck, one of those, or a
Yeah.
fight to fuck, fight to
Yeah.
fight to flirt. You know, like basically like Indy and
Yes, I know
what's
exactly.
in this-
Willie.
in every movie. Let's be fair.
Yeah, well, Indy in every movie, but like Indy and Willie a little bit.
Willie, thank you. I was thinking Teddy for some reason, but no, it's not Teddy.
Yeah, no, it's
but
Willie.
technically,
So I just said it.
Yeah.
yeah. So like you want something like that where it's like some guy like, you know, spills something on you and then is like, well, you shouldn't have been in my way.
Yeah, because I think she's, if it's gonna be a man, she's definitely not. She's definitely a little bit abrasive. So having that kind of abrasiveness, and then suddenly, I think having it like that nice. I think that build of like tension, and then suddenly if like that breaks, it'll be very satisfying for Darcie. Ha ha ha. In both ways of being able to like not necessarily kind of get through that, because she was swept off her feet by Prince fucking Charming with Mr. Lord Macduff, and then all of a sudden that went very wrong. So I think having like not the super charming man, it will be having like, yeah, more of like an Indiana Jones is actually a very good description of like what Darcie would want.
Okay.
The chat just mentioned Geralt spills something on Darcie.
Yes. Oh my god, yes.
You just want me to do that voice the entire hello.
Yeah, I do.
It's a good
Sorry.
voice.
I know.
Hi.
But yeah, I think Evelyn is going towards fun. And I feel like I want to take her in the direction of like, because I feel like in the long run, she probably ends up not in like a long-term committed relationship, but in like shorter committed for the time period fun relationships, and then moves on when she's done with it.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because I'm betting this first one, you're going to rip from her horribly. So she's going to learn to not hold on for very long.
That's fair.
Or also learning from example of what happened to her two friends that have just had horrible situations.
Yep. And like the awful stuff that happened to her husband, just because like she's trying to like assert herself and be like independent to some extent.
So I want to let everybody in. So in our private chat right now, there's a joke that people are sharing that like it's going to be a shapeshifter that's in a relationship with everybody at once.
That came from actual chat, by the way.
Oh, did it come from actual chat? Who said that?
It did.
Hey, Ray. How's it going?
Snowy.
Snowy.
99.
Good job, Snowy. And then I was saying that, I could totally do that. That'll be book 6. It's just a romantic comedy.
Oh my god.
I will, and I was like, and my mind immediately said, that can be where you're in the East. And then my mind, which I will not do, I'm just gonna say this out loud, but my brain that knows all the mage lore is like, you can introduce the Wu Kang. And then my 2024 self went, no, you can't. That's awful. We don't talk about them anymore. Look them up. They're not great. Anyway,
Nope.
but I do like the idea of there were like parts of their concept that was pretty cool, but it doesn't play well. I like the idea of shape-shifting like people that have been in contracted with demons though. Kind of like that part. That's always fun, right? That's good. Okay, so we got some relationships. You got some indie. I'm gonna ask you at this point, as we're going into the next book, what are some wishes from people? So you can take a couple minutes to think on this while I pontificate, but I want to know, give me a bullet point of some big things that you want. So I'm going to ask you wishes, and I am going to ask, let's do some thorns, actually, because we just finished a book. So basically, I'm going to ask each of you what you would wish fixed, or what you have had enough of, what would you like less of, and that could be something stupid. It could just be like, I would just like more regular games. I would like lighter costuming, right? Jen.
No, I was mostly just laughing at the regular games thing because sometimes, mostly just so that my brain remembers things. I was gonna try and do up a conspiracy board for Mage, and then I just didn't. Uh, but I did do one for Zero Sum, so
Oh,
that's
nice.
Zero Sum went some interesting places. But anyways, I think for me, like last book was really heavy, which was fair for a subject matter. Like, don't get me wrong, loved it, but I think something a little more action comedy would be nice.
So if I had to put this here, this is a mixture of The Mummy and Die Hard.
Cool. I'm for it.
Because you know I like to play with pressure and tension and all of that. So we're
Yeah.
immediately going from what we did down to just kind of chilling.
Cool.
And then next book is in Concordia, so prepare for politics.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think I want to start like pushing Josephine a little in that direction of just like maybe not deciding to go home necessarily, or even acknowledging that that's a possibility at this point because she doesn't know necessarily, but um getting her into a place where she can handle that again. In terms of mechanics, at least, I'd like to, and this both saddens me, and unless you have a good option, but this saddens me and makes perfect sense. I might need to switch my familiar dots because Octavius probably needs to stay where Octavius is.
I mean, Octavius can survive out of water.
Yes, but I'm pretty sure that he grew at the end of last book. There was mention of boats and like
It's up to you. You could have Octavius 2, The Quickening.
I mean, it's a little difficult in the time period. As much as I love Octavius.
So
if you can figure out a good option, then yeah.
Well, think about what you want to do with him and think about what you would switch those background dots to, because you could switch them into totem, I think. Theoretically, it's technically not totem, it would be like a bound spirit. But you don't have any spirit magic, do you?
I have one dot.
Okay. So that could be enough that you could probably just have like a Kraken spirit hanging out with you. Ghost Kraken. You could put it into basically any other background. We could make it happen. If you wanted to take a blessing, you could have gone and gotten a mystic tattoo from somebody in Cairo, or go get one.
Oh yeah, that could be cool.
And then you could just pick what you have. If you put another dot into it, you could literally have him you could have him tattooed on you so that you can grow suckers. Or breathe underwater or something, like a Life 3 adaptation.
Okay. There's some options. I like the idea of kind of keeping the flavor of him around. But as Amy has said in our private chat, Octavius staying to look after Amelia and Teddy Jr. also makes sense to me.
Some killers break in and suddenly the mobile that's hanging above the baby attacks them, and it's like, that's not a mobile, it's an octopus. What the hell?
Right. Because actually one of the thoughts I had about Amelia and Teddy Jr., when you mentioned potentially them going to Concordia because it's safe there or whatnot, I still have that one dot in Patron and could have offered to like maybe work towards getting them to a safe place like Concordia that's just away from everything.
You absolutely could pull that.
Yeah. So they could be waiting for us there in Concordia.
This is true. If you want to take that route, do you want me to write that down?
As a possibility, if Amy's for it. I mean,
Yeah,
I'd be happy
cool.
to. Yeah, I'd be happy to do that for Jas. So
How differently does time travel happen in Concordia, or is it
Same.
parallel?
It's parallel.
Okay, cool.
Ballpark.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure leap years are weird, but like mostly.
yeah, it's basically I believe they follow like it's set up to basically mirror Earth, I think. But
It is also powered by some of Earth's mightiest nodes, so it is literally chained to the material reality because it's not a realm that existed before. They built the realm using magic from Earth. So it is a phenomenal undertaking. And the chat
Yeah.
is saying that Soul, you saw a movie with a car mimic. That was Cars. That was Pixar's Cars. Okay. Does anybody else have any wishes or thorns or whatever we want to call them?
I mean, I think for wishes, I think mirroring Jen about the kind of having more of like a bit of an action comedy might be fun. Just a bit more. I think we're gonna really get this with the Cairo and the train, like just having a bit more movement to the game, I guess. Like not like progression wise, but like it's really where we are in a really interesting period of timing, and kind of it's going to be really cool to see the doves in different cultures and different situations, because I think it's really interesting to see how we react to various places. So I think just kind of continuing on that that track, and then yeah, of course, like everything is always hard to deal with getting things more regular game, but definitely trying to remember to not.
What I'll do real quick is let me outline the stops just so that you know where we are going to be going. And I'm not sure if Christine's dealing with the dog right now, so I'm not sure if she has her headphones on still. So I will just copy these into our private chat. Not this one. I'm gonna have to redo this probably, but the way that it's going to go is goes from, there we go. It goes from Cairo to the Suez Canal area.
We'll find the evergreen.
Yeah. All right. Then it goes through Jerusalem, then along Persia, all the way to Karachi. But it goes through Persia on its way to I think to Baghdad, basically, straight across there, because it's the most politically advantageous, looking at like control charts of who owns who and who controls who during this era. And then it follows down from Karachi down to down through Delhi and Bombay at that point. So it's pretty much just whoop 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 like that. With a lot of stuff going through the precursor to Pakistan, which is Buristan. I have it in my notes somewhere, but so it's going to be kind of an outline like that. And before anybody says it in the comments, why didn't they just take a boat? Because I wanted a train adventure, guys. Come on. They're taking a boat to get to the train, okay? Josephine finally gets a boat. It took 2 books and, 25 episodes?
And I think she's going to be profoundly disappointed and just be like, well, what do I do with my life now?
I actually pulled up a bunch of maps from like 1902. So they're like slightly out of date for this, because this is like 1895 through 1898, probably somewhere in there. But it's close enough. It's close enough. Folks, just so you know, I even did Google Maps views and went through the terrain of these locations to see what they were like with well, you can't do street view, but you can do like a topographical map view and then do like pictures of interest around the area to check like mountain ranges and be like, could they have forced a bunch of workers to build this and die in the process? Yeah, probably. I say that as a joke, but it's to lighten the load of our sins. So
fair.
As a culture. No, I'm not going all the way up to Constantinople. That's too far. That puts you right on the Orient Express, basically. And that is a legally distinct property with Kenneth Branagh. So yeah, I've got all sorts of stuff. If there's anything you want specifically in any of those locations, I will say that doing anything in the Jerusalem area does kind of worry me right now from a storytelling standpoint, given the conflict in Palestine. But I'm definitely interested in doing like a brief stopover, You know, I just watched Murder on the Orient Express again, where they started doing like the little opening at the Wailing Wall, and something like that could be kind of cool. But I definitely would want to experience these things. I definitely think that we could probably get a side adventure out of being in Cairo for an episode or two before the train leaves. Because who doesn't want to encounter a mummy, which are real things in the world of darkness, by the way.
Amazing.
They're so... I hate mummies now. I hate mummies in World of Darkness. Chronicles, they're so much better. Also, headcanon, this is the official headcanon. Mummies in Mummy the Resurrected is just like they're just all made by like a celestial chorus oracle who got bored. Like they're just people that have been resurrected by, they're like, ah, yes, you have a broken soul. I'll take this random person's soul and stick a soul in your soul to fix it. And then they come back to life. And I'm like, that just seems like something a mage would do if they were bored.
That feels like something kind of like Evelyn would do.
Yeah, like I said, when
Let's stick a thing in a golem. Yahoo! You're alive.
Wahoo!
Congratulations.
And you're alive and Mario.
Woohoo!
Wahoo! An Italian golem. He cannot be stopped.
Strange and confusing existence.
Also, I redesigned more stuff for Elos, guys. That is pretty cool. So I'll tell you that when we're not doing a mage talk. So does anybody else have any wishes or thorns or anything that they want? Anything, Christine or Amy?
My brain's trying to think of something.
Was there anything that didn't work for you last season?
I found that with how much stuff had happened at the end of season 1 and how much of like Chastity was basically just like going on a grief spiral, she wasn't very active in book 2. So I'm curious to see how things go in book 3. And I think she's going to be trying to work on healing and doing like that whole opposite action of, okay, well, in the asylum, I was isolating and I want to distance myself as much as I can from that, especially for the last month that they're in Paris. So
okay.
I think she's going to be trying to be engaging a lot more with the other dubs specifically.
That's probably a good idea. And I think that once you can see Teddy Jr. and Amelia safely somewhere, that will be a big part of not closure, but of healing, right? So she won't have to worry about them. Yeah. Just like, oh, they're surrounded by hundreds of mages.
Yeah, there's definitely that anxiety of, are they actually safe? Or is the devil going to come after them kind of thing?
Yeah, it probably would be pretty difficult. But that's good. Okay, so, and any wishes that you want in particular? And this is like, you want to, and I mean minutia. If you're like, I want an episode where we climb a pyramid or have like a sword fight on a pyramid.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Well, now that you suggested it.
Pyramids? You want to go on a pyramid scheme?
Yes, please.
Sure.
That sounds fun.
Do you want to go to an opium den in Cairo?
Why not? That sounds fun. A lot of things sound fun.
I mean, we've already met Oscar Wilde, so an opium den's not much of a stretch.
This is true.
Exactly. Plus, I think she's trying to help at least, well, maybe both Evelyn and Darcie have some fun and come out of their shells a little bit.
Do you want to have a beach episode and like what equates to a scuba suit? Your swimsuit, they're like a full body swimsuit.
But... Oh yeah.
When,
so I was like,
when did the modern swimsuit come about? Well, not the bikini, but let's look.
Not at that time.
1900s.
Yeah, I think it's like 1900s.
Suit. Oh, you know what? That's actually not as bad as I expected. It's got pants, but it's could be better. All right. Interesting. Okay. Christine, do you have any wishes or thorns or anything for the future book?
I think I would like to have a little bit more just of some description of like not actually doing it in game time because that would be boring, but do like kind of a little bit of description of like, this is what you're doing in between stuff. So like a little bit more focus on developing Evelyn's science in the ways that we've been talking about. so that it makes sense when it comes up in person.
Okay, so a little more downtime.
Or just like a little more mention of it.
A little more
It doesn't
talking
even
about
need to
downtime.
happen. I don't need to spend like 20 minutes of game doing it. Like if we talk about it afterwards or before, and it's just kind of like get mentioned. But also I would like to eventually at some point hunt down some stuff to make the things we've talked about.
Yeah, we didn't get a lot of downtime in book 2 for reasons,
Yes.
for good reasons.
You got an
So I would
entire
like to
year
develop-
between books, guys. I'm sorry, I'm evil and I know it.
So I would like to develop all of that.
Okay.
Well, yeah.
Amy.
And I do have one other thing that I know that Chastity would be thinking about, and I think I said it in our chat earlier. That I think it was mentioned either during her seeking or it was during her seeking that it was mentioned that with using Teddy Jr.'s blood might be able to find out if Teddy is alive. So now that there is in fact a baby here that has a blood connection, she wants to recruit the other mages to try and see if he's at least alive through life and correspondence.
I have correspondence.
If nothing else.
I have life. Life 4, baby.
So that's something she's absolutely going to be pushing for, even if they can't find out where he is, if he's alive, or confirmation that he's dead, or anything. It's just, yeah.
Okay. Who said Professor Multiverse wants a fight on top of a train?
I think we all want that. I think that was like a
and I gotta say, folks, if you are wondering like what I have planned for this, I'm gonna put a link in the chat real quick. Actually, Robin, can you, since you already know what track I'm gonna ask for, that version of Crazy Train, can you link the YouTube of that to the chat?
Oh yes,
because this is what I've been listening to for a year and a half plotting this. My particular one is the bwah, like the really big long bwah, because that's my money shot from this in my head, because it's the scariest moment of the entire goddamn book, and it's great. Yeah, well, the second scariest, because the other one's it's a subtle burn. Jen is going to literally soil herself with glee at one of the things. And I don't say that like Jen, I say that right now, but you're probably going to like, I think 2 or 3 times going to be speechless with like Mage and WoD fangirling, as you are occasionally. Like it's definitely like one where if I came across the game, I'd be like, okay. Fuck.
Okay, cool.
The churches of fairy. The doves are going to Cairo. Let's see what else. Christine, did you have any thorns? Anything that didn't work for you last season, or anything that hasn't worked and you want to avoid in the future? Aside from the fact that we're moving into a more action comedy season. Like it's action comedy horror, but still it's gonna be great.
Yeah, I think potentially maybe just like if Evelyn would put something together, explain it a little more clearly to Christine, because I'm not good with mystery. I'm really bad at it. I just sit there confused.
I think we need to continue doing what we did for book 2 and have like a group conspiracy board of just what the heck is going on.
Agreed. I love our conspiracy board.
It's great. I loved it.
But
it was
like, that's
wonderful.
kind of it. Like I don't really have much in the way of like pushing the story in a particular way or saying, oh, I don't like that. Because generally we've pushed for more like nastiness so that we can fight back against it. And you've delivered. So
sounds good. It's going to be fantastic trauma. It's going to be a real, like, it's going to be a real
enjoyed
step.
wrecking the guy from the end of the last one.
Yes. I really hope I don't kill any of you in this one, because there is some stuff in this that's really rough.
Okay.
Like, it's not really rough emotionally. It's just that you guys only have 7 health levels. So Darcie, add some health boxes.
Can I do that?
You're a mage. So look at your character
Amazing.
sheet and pull out a pencil.
Mhm.
That's what you can do with life magic and mind magic.
Yeah, basically.
You're like,
cool.
hey, you know what? I've got mind and prime. I kind of want to have Brawl 6.
Hey, Robin, look at what you can do to when you spend blood as a vampire, and you can do that as a mage with life magic.
Yeah.
Just
they
yes,
do
I
it.
just create life mages in any of my World of Darkness games.
It's it's really true. Your Zamisi's great. I think it's funny that we've got all of these games where people like it's like these historical games with like crossovers. Great. Was there anything else you guys wanted to talk about for upcoming game stuff?
I think I covered most of what I was thinking about.
Okay, cool. So folks, if you have any questions in the chat, let us know. Besides that, I'll start plugging a couple of really cool things that are going to be happening on the channel soon then. So besides Mage, they're eventually going to get me to run a technocracy game sometime this year, probably. It'll be a short run, probably later this year. A couple of things that I want to keep you all addressed with is Mage is going to do its best to run, but we are going to make some convention appearances this year, which will occasionally disrupt weekend plans. In particular, we're going to be going most likely to Odafest in Calgary. We're going to Gen Con in Jen's house. In Indianapolis. We're going to Gen Con in August.
My house can't handle a con.
Yeah, well. What's the best way to cook chicken breasts? I would say, like, honestly, bake them at there are 2 ideas. You should brine them first if you really want them to be tender, but you should bake them. I'd like it 450 for between 25 and 30 minutes. Use a thermometer to get to that 165 internal temp. But you can also do Christine's method, where you do a 350 bake for 50 to 60 minutes.
I don't even count anymore. I stick a in-oven thermometer in that connects to a little thing that I say, hey, get it to this temperature internally, and then it bings when that happens.
450 degrees
leave it for the time.
Celsius. Who uses Celsius to cook? Anyway, friction. Yeah, you just slap it real hard. That was a meme 10 years ago.
Have you seen that video? Have you seen that video?
Yes, we have seen that video. You sent that video.
Good.
Yeah. So there's gonna be a technocracy game. The other con we might be going to is Big Bad Con in San Francisco, so that could be fun. We actually go like to some of the mage stomping grounds, take some photos, maybe. Robin won't, but we'll miss you. But besides that, Extra Life Tabletop Appreciation Weekend has moved from August to April. So that's happening, which means the Dork Tales Expo is being pushed back to one of the J months. We're trying to figure out which one. We've also got some really interesting stuff coming down the pipeline. I've got some Patreon originals that I think, if you like World of Darkness stuff, you're definitely going to like. For example, we have a new one coming out after Alien. That is a Scion game set at a university, and it's all Olympic Scions in a frat, basically. And it's going to be Gen V with Scions. It's going to be a lot of fun. And then, of course, Vampires going on. I know I've been getting a lot of questions over the years for another season of Werewolf. I can't confirm or deny that we're working on that, because one of us had a baby, and that does kind of limit a little bit of flexibility there. And the rest are in a lot of other games like Mage. So I really do appreciate your interest in that. Weirdly enough, actually, I've been receiving, somebody emailed me a while ago, I think they're trying to encourage me to do a season 3 of Werewolf. Emailed me like at the end of December, some like, I'm not sure if it was like speculative fiction or something, but it was like a chat transcript between like a couple of werewolves, I think, or something like that. It was weird. It was real weird. But yeah, it was. But so I appreciate your enthusiasm. It was neat. I don't really get it. Actually, I've gotten a couple emails from this person, and yeah. Thanks for the fan mail, I guess. It's been kind of weird.
Weird's gonna weird.
Weird's gonna, well, at least it's not a
season 3 of
YouTube
Werewolf
comment.
would be cool.
Yeah, it's I don't know. It's kind of like, it reminds me of that stuff like when Stephen King hadn't finished The Dark Tower, like people would send him like pictures of teddy bears in like distress, like write the book or the teddy bear gets it type of things. And it was kind of like that. Like, I don't know if I should be unnerved. Maybe I'll share the stuff on Discord and see what people think. But it was kind of weird. Anyway, I can't confirm about Werewolf. I'm stalling right now so that you guys can go. And you think I linked you that thing for Werewolf? I don't think that was you. I know your email address, Soul. But yeah. So anyway, besides that, what else is going on Dork Tales? We love you a lot. And I'm really looking forward to this book. I'm looking forward to doing some train stuff. I'm looking forward to excitement at pyramids, and I'm looking forward to getting you to India. It's going to be a lot of fun. There's a question from the chat. Are you interested in doing, Robin, are you interested in doing another Renegade Studios My Little Pony RPG?
I'm not opposed to it. I'm not opposed to that. No, not at all. Could be a fun extra life.
Extra life?
Probably, yeah, I could do.
Yeah, and I will eventually find time to get Extra Life from last year up. I've just been very sick and then busy. I'm excited though to get into this book. And does anybody have any experience that they want to spend?
No,
I was mentioning it in. Yeah, I was mentioning it in the private chat. I'm about 5 XP away from another level 4 sphere. And I kind of want to do that. Is
that including the 3 XP from tonight?
Yeah, that's including.
Okay, because I'm giving you 2 XP for showing up tonight.
Cool. I need 3 more XP.
So how many are we getting tonight total?
Total of 5 right now.
Total 5? Oh, yeah. Cool. Dope.
The chat bought 3.
Yeah. No, I was at 16 and I need 24.
You got to bribe your players with attendance points, guys. Also, it's made having Rattray be its own value that can totally just eat your points if you fail is like, you creating an earthquake, Christine?
I just punched my monitor.
Just
by accident trying to get my pencil.
Wow.
Wow.
And it moved. So
yeah. So basically I'm wondering if, like, because I'm not gonna get that 3 XP right this second, if probably have it at the end of
what
next
sphere are you planning to work on?
I'm debating between Correspondence 4 and Prime 4, but I think I'm leaning Prime 4.
So what I want you to do first is I want you to figure out what you're doing with those background points from Octavius.
Yeah.
And you could be studying it. And one of the things that happens if you do want something like a blessing tattoo or a wonder or something like that, going and meeting like an Egyptian hermetic and studying with them in Cairo briefly and getting that could be part of your way of earning it.
Right. Yeah. I think something like that would be really cool.
Okay. So let me know what you want to do with that. And I will Jen learns Prime because you guys are going to be having long-term adventures. I'm probably during games, like during chapters, if you spend XP on spheres during chapter or books from now on, I'm going to be using the book learning rates now, which is 2 months per level of sphere minimum, unless you have a mentor to help you learn fast. And those will be side episodes where you get like pushed off cliffs and things like that.
Rip to my.
Just grow wings.
What?
Who wants to go?
No, rip to my mentor.
Oh yeah, rest in peace.
I no longer have those dots. Rip.
Where'd you put them?
I put them into I believe Familiar and Destiny.
Oh, okay, that's fair. Your destiny was improved by the death of. She was leading you down the wrong path. She dies suddenly. You have Destiny 5. You're like,
No, now I'm in more control of my own destiny from her now.
I see. Hey, folks. Thanks so much for tuning in. I know tonight was just a chatting episode, but it was great to see all of you showing up. If you're watching on YouTube, leave some comments down below. Let us know where you want to see the game go and what other games you want to see. I like a lot of World of Darkness, Chronicles of Darkness stuff. And I really hope that you try some of our other stuff. If you are strictly a World of Darkness fan, please go give some of our Chronicles of Darkness stuff a try and vice versa. I strongly recommend you give Hunter the Vigil Summons a chance because it's a legal drama and it's ridiculous. And I can't wait until we finish this season and potentially do a season 2 someday because I've got an idea for the dumbest plot ever, and it's gonna
so
be
good. It's so good.
Hold on, I'm gonna type it in our private chat.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. All right, so yeah, that face, that's the face right there.
Excuse me, what?
What?
Right. I want to do really dumb supernatural law stuff. Right.
That's
thank you
great.
so much for the praise in the chat right now. That's
no, it's in the private chat. I'll tell you later.
yeah. So it will be a lot of fun. It'll be fantastic. And I'm excited to do more Mage with you. So thanks for joining us. There are very few groups online that do Mage the Ascension, so it's lovely to be able to provide that content for y'all. A big reminder, though, if you want more Mage in your day, you should definitely check out Paradox, a Mage the Ascension podcast that Jen does. It is a phenomenal podcast. Jen, you're about to put out another episode sometime soon, right?
Well, here's the thing. I was supposed to put out an episode a week ago, and I didn't. And part of that is because I am swamped and exhausted and just didn't have time to do it.
Well, and you do it in your spare time. Like, this is not,
Yeah. Well, and so I'm hoping to get another one out this week and for the next little while at least, because my current course, while it's technically on stuff I know, it's also way more regimented than any of my previous courses have been. So it's kind of draining me a lot. And so so I'm planning on putting out episodes like once a month for the next little while, just to keep things rolling, but also to give me a little bit of breathing space. So yeah.
And I don't want to, I know that you take praise as well as I do. So, but I want to say that you obviously put a lot of effort into it and you produce something that's very high quality compared to a lot of fan podcasts. Like, you are definitely the cream of the crop on the amount of effort and work you put in. So I think once a month is very reasonable for like the deep dives that you do, the scripting and the audio quality and the editing that you do. I think that people should be like, that should be great. Like,
Yeah. It feels like a lot of time between episodes because of how short they tend to be, but some of them are longer. So
some of them are longer. Yeah, and one day we're going to record
a bunch of stuff. We've been doing our
stuff.
seekings for your Technocracy game,
which sneak previews of which are available up on our Discord right now. So check out our Discord if you want access to those seekings, and because Jen, you got mine up for Zero Sum and you got Amy's up.
Amy's will be up later tonight. I'm about a fifth of the way through my final like press through it, so I'll finish it after we're done here. And then I'll put up the raw-ish audio. I mean, it's mostly edited. It sounds fine. It's just I like with yours, I didn't balance all of the audio because I didn't have time. And I
That's
wanted
fair.
people to be able to listen to both of these before Sunday, especially Amy's, because Heather's is actually kind of important. Not like super important to Sunday's plot. I can get around it, but it helps if you know what's happening.
That's fair. Because
So,
tomorrow,
note on that to anybody who is not familiar with our zero sum game, it is on the Patreon only section of the Discord, so you will
Yes.
need to be a Patreon member to access it.
That's fair. So, and the game comes back with episode 10 tomorrow on Patreon at 6 p.m. Pacific. So that will be there. But you can also catch us tomorrow at noon Pacific for Planescape Turn of Fortune's Wheel, which is going to be fantastic. If you're not there, you'll be sorry. Eh?
I've throughout this
What?
course, because I've been meaning to make this extra character, so I've made my fourth variant.
Is she a Canadian lumberjack Githyanki?
No, she's the Agith Sarai monk, and my base AC is 18, and I have the ability from my background, because I took Astral Drift, which is the magic initiative feat. I can cast Mage Armor on myself, so I can be a AC 21 monk.
You should also take shield if you have the ability to.
Oh, it's part of Gith Sarai has shield as part of the thing you can.
Oh man, I'm gonna
So
knock you around. It's gonna be great.
Well, you need to kill me first, and also the information's not
I'll
enough
kill
time
you.
for
Do you
my
want to?
change.
Do you want to?
I know, but no. But it's not enough time for my build of the frames for that character. So 2
There's
weeks
the
from
episode
now.
art for tomorrow.
Oh my god, amazing!
Right?
Wow.
Yeah, my desk is so messy, guys. So folks, thank you so much for tuning in to this interlude for Mage the Ascension. If you are tuning in for the first time and you're like, why am I here? What is Mage the Ascension? It is normally a modern supernatural game about will workers in a darkened version of our own reality. But our game is set in the Victorian era. It is a fully costumed, fully realized, and soundtracked adventure into a darker past that is historically authentic with modern sensibilities. It's a hell of a lot of fun. There's a lot of things that catch fire, and these are some of the best players on the internet right here. So if you're not already watching, you definitely should, especially because the schedule is much tighter these days. So there's much less faffing around than the first book. So how is Mage the Ascension? It's one of the best games there is. Period. I'm really not looking forward to seeing what they do with 5th Ed eventually, with Mage 5. Although I think the Paradox could probably be pretty good with Hunger Dice mechanics. But yeah, so that is what I've got for this. Anybody have anything else they want to say on the way out?
I don't think so. I'm good.
All right.
Thanks, all.
Hey, a big thank you to Bookworm Games. I love you big much, Bookworm Games. Thank you for sponsoring us. A big thank you to all of our patrons over at patreon.com/dorktales, as well as the Playmat for rating us tonight. Patreon is, of course, where you can get a ton of additional content, up to 6 additional games per month, minimum like 2 or 3, as well as a ton of additional things like behind-the-scenes podcasts with members of the cast, which is like a 20-something person cast, so you get a lot of variation there. You can get modules. In fact, I have to write an overdue for the season Hunter the Vigil module for you guys and clean up a D&D one, but I'm trying to pump those out as regularly as I can. I got sick, so it is what it is. As well as you get advanced access to seeing like some cool art and some stuff, and occasionally some fiction and stuff like that. So consider it. You can join the likes of our divine producer, my mom. Hey, Mom. Thanks for life. It's been pretty cool so far. Thanks to our demonic/devilish producer Precarious for just being the best. Come and watch him die tomorrow on Planescape. To our Wizards of the Patreon, which is very suitable for our mage game. We have, of course, the Ink Goblin, Tammy the Forever Cleric, as well as Sorcerer Sanguine and Kelowna Curd. And of course, we have the High Council of the Patreon, Taryn, Dustin, Amberthist, Raven with Baubles, Karasha Urquhart, Chef Aladeth, Lerouk, and Mike Baxter. A huge thank you to them. And of course, because we're in a new season, take a look at our majestic overlay frames, which were done by our graphic designer, Michael. You can check Michael out over on his own channel, Sylvester Slays, or just watch him in games. He's in tomorrow's Planescape as well. And I will kill him. It will be great.
Oh, looks like we have a new council member.
What? We have a new council member?
Iridian Wild apparently
Wild's right.
says in the chat that they just upgraded.
What? Oh, Iridian Wild, you are fantastic. What do you want? What do you want for your birthday? Okay, so let me just, so Iridian. Do you prefer to be called Iridian or Iridian Wild? Let me know so I can say it correctly at the end of every single freaking stream. But thank you so much, because this is a full-time gig and Patreon is how I pay my bills. So I really do appreciate it. So just Iridian? Okay. Iridian. I like it because I can end with a trill. I can be like, Iridian. Iridian. There we go. But welcome to the council. I got to do some like bigger things for the council. I need to do some bigger things. But yeah, thank you so much for tuning into this episode of Mage the Ascension. We'll be back in 2 weeks with the actual first episode, which I think is going to be called Farewell Paris, or Au revoir, Farewell to Paris, or something like that. And then I'm really trying hard to not have the next episode be called The Pyramid Scheme, because I've named many episodes.
Didn't we do that in Shards?
We did it in Shards. Oh God. So we had Tomb Eternal. We had Pyramid Scheme. We had so many pyramid puns.
I still think Civil Serpents is one of the funniest.
Civil Serpents was so good. My favorite is Hut Topic, where you guys had to go find that hut with the werewolves in it. But yeah. So a big thank you to all of you for supporting us. And if you are on our Discord, I strongly suggest you go check out. We are building up our homebrew world, because I'm gonna start trying to get some stuff like regularly out in publishing, both on our Patreon and on our wiki, which you can add to, by the way. Help our wiki lords out by helping contribute to it. It would be great to have some extra ideas. Go check out the Elos discussion or Elos world building section. I'd love to get some more ideas. I've got some really cool ideas to kind of make the world a little more unique that I'm going to tell them in a second. But besides that, come back in 2 weeks and you are going to see some mage fun and watch as they probably set a couple boats on fire. It's going to be great. And don't forget, tomorrow is Technocracy Zero Sum episode 10. You can see all the past episodes on Patreon right now. And I think episode 5 or 6 is out on YouTube. I need to drop another one sometime this week. But
yeah, something like that, which I think, yeah.
I'm running too many games, so I can't rebroadcast them on a regular schedule now. So it's a pain.
Yeah, fair. I think Nolan Seeking also comes out between games 6 and 7.
Okay, so if you can get me that between those releases, that'd be awesome. I can make...
Yeah.
Like when you have time.
Yeah.
When's Arcos coming back? So Arcos is coming back the weekend after this. So it's coming back next weekend. Unfortunately, there was a personal tragedy, and so I didn't want to continue without every player. But I mean, it's I don't want to say it's life, but it's just the way things happen, right? So we're here to support each other. Luckily, as a team, we're all friends first. So we've got a pretty good support network here, and we appreciate you being patient. Sorry that I started the year off with like the worst cold I think I've ever had, and missed like 10 days of work. And then Christine, you just missed a whole week of work from it. And Robin, you missed about half a week of work and then suffered through a week of work.
So I went and double checked from the playlist. The other best pun you had in there was tomb service.
Oh, tomb service. Tomb service. Yeah.
Tomb Eternal, tomb service, pyramid scheme.
Yeah, I think I had one where you were in the town of Onion called Lairs of Evil. That was pretty good. Or something like that. That was pretty solid too. I'm going to have to start pun naming again for Shards. But folks, go check out our stuff. It's on YouTube. You should enjoy it. And if you like Mage and have not watched Breaking Tradition, it is absolutely fantastic. It is a little series that we ran for onyxpath's Lore of the Traditions book, which should be shipping sometime soon. It's only... God, I hate how long Kickstarters take.
You okay there, Christine?
Dragon's Lair. Dragon's Lair, but spelled layer. And it had onions as a background.
I loved making those thumbnails. They suck, but I loved them. Oh, I've gotten so much better at it since then. But hey, folks, thank you for tuning in. We love you big much. Thank you for all of your support. I can't wait to get into season/book 3. It's going to be a lot of fun. And we'll see you there in 2 weeks. Good night, mages. Bye.
Night.
Bye.